and we are live here from Portland International Raceway for the RPS Marketing Grand Prix of Portland in Portland, Oregon. And this is going to be a fun race here tonight. Road course. Always love watching these races, commentating these races. Is going to be a lot of fun. The first time this track has visited the BSR schedule. I am Joshua Carpenter, and I am joined by Olivia Hayward. Olivia, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. I mean, you know I love my road course racing, and it's always nice to see a new track pop into iRacing. Of course, added about a season ago, at this point, season and a half, and it's a track that I think really suits stock cars and other sort of lower downforce, very physical cars, and so I'm very excited to see what these drivers get up to. It is a fine day here in Oregon. Nice and cool, but the track's still baking under the sun at about 100 Fahrenheit, so it'll be interesting to see how these drivers handle the truck over a long run. But of course, right now it's all about the one-lap pace, as we are a couple of minutes into qualifying, and some drivers, like Michael Kruger, are just starting their laps now.
Yeah, we're currently watching Alonso Chicano as he's coming off the final corner, and he's going to cross the line to start his first lap here. Well, Alonso, he's been working pretty hard this week to get accustomed with this track. I was turning some laps with a bunch of the Radius and PBR guys earlier this week, and I learned very quickly that the booth is the best place for me to be. But it was still a lot of fun to try to turn some laps here, and watching Alonso and the progression that he made throughout that practice session was pretty impressive to see in such a short amount of time as well. So Alonso, he's getting through what I think is the toughest part of the track before he gets onto what is this kind of long straightaway with kink right there, but you really can take that full throttle. And this is going to lead you into the last couple of corners of the racetrack. See that quick left-right, slow down hard braking zone here. Final right-hander to get onto the front straightaway. Of course, Michael Kruger sets down 114.590. We're going to see where Alonso ends up as he's going to cross the line here. And it is not bad. 1:15.547, I believe is what that says.
Yeah, and of course, road courses, the field spread tends to be that little bit wider, so to be within a second of Kruger, who was far and away the fastest driver in our practice session, sets Alonso up well for the race. It's unlikely to find more time in the second lap unless you were really playing it easy on that first one. The tyres definitely lose grip quite quickly, and especially through that straightaway section, it is sort of flat in a lot of cars. In the trucks, I think you probably can take it flat with a little bit of wheel, but it can be one of those where a tiny lift just on corner entry can set the nose, and I think that could be the fastest way through there. We'll have to see what drivers opt for, and obviously later in the stint, it could be a very different story to what it is right now.
Yeah, I agree. Right now we see Cameron Caldwell qualifying for his lap number 1. Oh, gets a little loose. Not much. I mean, he's going to be okay. But that could have been very costly for Caldwell. And we'll see where he lines up.
Yeah, and it is that high-speed chicane. He goes second fastest with that lap, so clearly not hurting with that loose moment in that chicane. But it's such a tricky section because you are sort of downshifting once into that first left-hand kink, and then you're having to downshift again as you throw the car and transfer the weight over to the right-hander down in second gear. And so you've really got to be careful and time those downshifts well to avoid the truck getting unstable, and try and sort of in certain ways sacrifice some of the engine braking that you'd normally like, just to make sure you don't wheel hop the thing and end up sort of spearing off into the drag strip. I'm sure we'll see some drivers take that joke a few times today.
We're currently watching on board with Caldwell as he's getting ready to complete his second lap, and struggle there as he's entering the final corner. Caldwell gonna finish his second lap, and it is not an improvement.
Oh, it was close.
Yeah. I actually want to go ahead and bring him in and have a chat with him. He gave us permission to do so. I know he is dying to talk about this place. So let's go ahead and bring in Cameron Caldwell. And hey Cam, you just got done with your qualifying laps there. I know this is a track you have been begging for iRacing to get onto the service. And you even said that when they do, you're adding it onto the BSR schedule no matter what. It's here, it's on the schedule, and it is race day at Portland. How excited are you for this race?
Man, my heart has been pumping all day long, honestly. Man, I'm so happy this day is finally here. This is home cooking for me. I live literally like 15 minutes away from this track in real life. Love this place. It really holds a special place in my heart. Going there a couple times in August for IndyCar and then the Xfinity Series. Yeah, I was just so excited when they finally added it to iRacing. We knew it was coming when they started scanning all the tracks, or rescanning or refreshing all of them for the NASCAR game coming out pretty soon. And so I knew we were going to get it pretty quick. And I've put a lot of pressure on myself for tonight. Not quite the qualifying effort that I wanted, but I'm not upset about it. I feel like my long run pace is really good. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to it. But yeah, I'm just can't believe we're finally here.
And I got some good news for you, which you've already known this, but you didn't warrant yourself a penalty last week, so you're going to keep your starting position tonight, which is currently third. Still a minute and a half left in qualifying, but we know Kruger is fast. We know Maher is fast. Fidel Fabian currently P2. What is it going to take to try to best these guys?
I think really just kind of same old as every other road course, just save the rears. I feel like we did a practice the other day with the Radius guys, and Mikey and Tristan had a tenth or two on me, but I feel like when I don't have to push 110%, I can really lock in and just make good lap time. So I think that's where my strength comes in tonight. I knew qualifying might not go the way I wanted. Obviously, home race, I want to put a P1 practice, P1 qualifying, P1 race, lead all the laps, fastest lap, all the whole 9 yards. But the pay window doesn't open till the end of the race, right? So as Clint Boyer likes to say, whatever he says. So I think just keeping the rears on it. I know my strategy for tonight. Just gotta survive turn one, and then we'll go from there. As long as I get through turn one clean, then that's all I can ask for, and then that's probably in my control how I do. So, yeah, that's all I got. But really happy we're here.
All right. Well, qualifying has 10 seconds left. We're gonna let you go back up into your with your team and start drivers meeting and all that, and maybe we'll talk to you a little bit later.
All right, appreciate it, Josh.
Good luck to you.
Thanks.
And that was the hometown boy, Cameron Caldwell. And I think it's safe to say that he is pretty excited for this race. Let's go ahead and take a look at our starting lineup here tonight, and it is Michael Kruger that's going to be on the pole. We know that. Fidel Fabian qualifying in second position. Third, it's going to be Cameron Caldwell with Alex Kerfan starting in fourth. Fifth place, Rivers Jones, Justin Rott, P6. Tristan Maher is going to start seventh. Alonzo Chicano in eighth. Ninth place, it's Cody McCorkle and Micah Walls starting in 10th.
We've got Zach Probst and Gabe Cazzola in row number 6 here, with Cody Goza and Levi Poland behind them in 13th and 14th. Then we've got Zachary Wareham and Randy Payne on row number 8. Aaron Von Druska and Lyndon Bingaman on row 9 to get to the drivers without times. And then William Kemp and Stephen Thornton will round out your 20-car grid here for tonight's race at Portland.
This is the RPS Marketing Grand Prix of Portland. And it is going to be a pretty fantastic race. I've already had one broadcast here at Portland not too long ago, which was for the Road and Plate Palmer Golf Series. That was a phenomenal race. And it saw some pretty wild moves. And Cameron Caldwell and Michael Kruger battling a little bit up front. Pretty fun to watch that one. And now we've got the BSR guys doing so. So I'm looking forward to this. Picks to win. Olivia, who do you have?
I'm going to go with our pole sitter here, Michael Kruger. I obviously had a 2-race winning streak coming into last week's race. Had an unfortunate incident that he got very frustrated about after the race finished up. So I'm thinking he's either taking that as fuel, he'll have been grinding away in practice, and I think one of the few drivers who maybe are putting some focus into this race, Kruger has put the work in to have what it takes to win this.
Alright, so I'm not going to pick who you probably think I'm going to pick, because he probably is going to kill me next time he sees me if I do pick him and curse him. So no, Cameron Caldwell is definitely not my pick to win here tonight.
He's finishing last.
Instead, definitely. If I pick him, he's going to finish last. So yeah, he's definitely not the guy that I think is going to win. Instead, I'm going to go with Tristan Maher. He starts 7th, but again, we know he is really, really good on the road courses. Not the qualifying effort that he wants, but still, Tristan, he finds a way to be up front at these races, in this kind of discipline of racing, and I see no reason why he's not going to get up front this time around either.
Yeah, Tristan was 3rd in the practice charts, just not quite getting that one-lap pace, but as we've talked about a little bit pre-race, the long run pace is going to be very important, and there's a chance that you can even pull a little bit of strategy to maybe get yourself on the way to the front of the field.
Yeah, going to be interesting to see pit strategy tonight. One stop, 2 stops, who's going to do what? What's going to work? I feel like this is Watkins Glen all over again. So it's just kind of a wait and see kind of thing as far as who's going to do what. 73 laps make up today's distance. And our stage is going to be at
18.
Yes, 18. Remember, no caution coming out at the stage end. The pace truck heads to the safety of pit road. Michael Kruger, Fidel Fabian, they make up the front row here tonight as we get ready for action at Portland. The green flag is waving. Here we go.
Oh, and they're fanning out. This is a tight turn 1. This could be tricky as they get on the anchors. And Tristan Maher slides. Who's a spin in the background? That's Rivers Jones. Cameron Caldwell files through into the race lead a bunch of drivers picking up slowdowns, and we're still 3 wide as we pinch down towards turn number 4. It's the American Monza down at turn number 1, and I think we saw some carnage there again.
Take a look at the JCTV replay from the blimp. See Tristan Maher there and somehow getting through. Some drivers missing the chicane. Rivers Jones, you mentioned, had issues. He's going back straight, but for Cameron Caldwell, he's made that move once before. As I mentioned, I broadcasted this track for Road and Plate. That same move was pulled by Cameron Caldwell. Not as successful as what he just did then. And that was in the sprint race. And then in the feature, it was Michael Kruger, who did the exact same thing from the exact same position, which was 7th place in that race, and was able to get the lead. I think Caldwell's been banking on that one to happen ever since he realized where he's going to start. And Caldwell leads lap number 1.
I don't know if Caldwell had much choice. He got almost pool-shotted through that gap by Tristan Maher. Did a great job getting it stopped. And then obviously Tristan struggling for control after missing the braking point, going into the grass, sort of files back out, and he manages to recover it. But it's Fidel Fabian on the outside who wasn't expecting that. Turns in as if there's 2 trucks, and unfortunately there's 3, and it's the car in the middle of Rivers Jones who ends up worst out of it. But does a great job recovering, and does a perfect 360 step up back into 7th place. So really not much harm out of that turn 1, despite how chaotic it all looked.
So I'm very curious to know. Maher did hit the wall with the right front. It doesn't look badly damaged, but I see it just a tiny bit of damage. How much is that going to affect him?
Oh, I mean, I think he's lucky that these that the bodywork doesn't have proper collision with tires, because that'd be some rub if there were.
Yeah.
Got some damage on the right rear as well. I would think that it could just be aero, although I can imagine he's nervous about this one, and if there is a little bit of suspension damage, it can also hurt the tyre wear, because it's not sort of pointed true, it's not got the alignment it's meant to, and it can rub across the surface, even in a straight line, in a situation like that. I wouldn't be surprised if Tristan maybe decides to make a slightly earlier pit stop here, maybe as soon as the end of stage 1, see what the damage looks like, how much he can get fixed while the crew change the tyres, and sort of pivot onto the 2-stop from there. We'll see whether anyone else in the field goes for a 1-stop, because I was looking at the numbers, and a fuel run here should be around about 35 laps, but to make it on 1, you'd need to get one of them to go 37, and the others to go 36, and so these drivers could do a little bit of fuel save. It also helps save the tyre, but of course, making that 2-stop work, you're going to have pressure tyres through the entire final run, and you could make up that delta quite easily in a race as long as this.
Yeah, it's going to be very interesting to see if that does affect him at all for Tristan Maher. He's actually falling into the clutches of Alex Kerfan a little bit. Kerfan, another driver that's really good at these road course races. But I see Cody McCorkle right there holding Fidel Fabian, Rivers Jones, Justin Rod up. All 4 of these guys bunched up together.
Yeah, McCorkle sort of slotted through that turn 1 incident very easily, and is now 4 spots up from the qualifying position, with Trutt behind Fabian, Jones, and Raw all spots down from where they started. So you'd expect over the course of this run for that to reshuffle itself, but the question is, where do you get the overtakes engineered here? Because just to have that 1-lap pace doesn't mean that you can manage to make an overtake stick, and then you can hold onto the tyres for what could be a 35-plus lap run, and in the best case would still be about 25 laps.
Looks like Fidel Fabian's going to take a peek, entering turn 1. And he completes the pass, and actually might get a slowdown here as he went over all four tires over that curbing. That immediately opens up the door for McCorkle to get the position back, and actually Fidel Fabian with contact, he's going to go around! Track is blocked, he goes into the grass. And that was contact with Rivers Jones. So things just got even worse for Fabian. Because now he's going to try to re-enter the track. A lot of trucks coming up. He stays parked. Smart move there for Fabian. And now he is going to start driving away. It's good. See if we can see that on the JCTV replay.
Yeah, so it all starts down turn 1 with that slowdown penalty. He's got to serve that, and I think Jones smells blood in the water, tries to get the overtake done. And you see the rear end almost come around for Jones. I think he got a bit of wheel hop there on the brakes. That actually threw him into the 11. Which was no consolation for Fabian. He got turned either way, but it's one of those where he's sort of aggressively trying to force a move. He smells blood in the water, but just a little bit clumsy in how he goes for it. And unfortunately, it is Fabian who ends up just staring at the whole field. Like, he's down to 18th place and lost about 20 seconds, 15-20 seconds in that maneuver.
Yeah, that was very unfortunate for Fidel Fabian. And, you know, I was going to mention it a little bit earlier when we were talking about Tristan Maher. But it applies here, too. And, you know, we're not going to have a caution at all at any point in this race. Not for an accident unless, I mean, really it happened lap 1, turn 1. And it would have been a pretty big accident. But now with the field spread out, you're not going to have that happen. So, I mean, the chances of that happening are slim to none, and more so on the none side. So, with that being said, Fidel Fabian, right now he's got to work his way as high as he possibly can, and he's going to have to do so with attrition. Straight up green flag racing over the course of the next 67 laps to try to get it done.
Yeah, we nearly had a big wreck in turn number 1, as Fabian is going to get that move done. Is a little bit of a hello to Vondruska as Fabian slots his way through him. Could be right up ahead with Chicano, who is wounded heavily on the front end and is down already 8 positions from where he started. I'd imagine just caught up in a big turn 1 checkup, but you can see as we come through the corner, the hood not quite pointed right. Could even be a little bit of engine damage potentially.
I'm seeing that he just lost 4 positions that time by.
Oh, okay, so maybe a more recent issue for Chicano.
Okay, he's already got the damage there. Let's see if we can do a little bit of investigating. Maybe he's had it. Yeah, this is a whole lap beforehand. He does have it. So, the losing 4 positions came, it looks like, because he got into the grass a little bit. See if I can find that again. See what the blimp camera saw. Well, there was one. Oh. Vladruska also into the grass.
And I did go back through the replay cameras. It like a curb hop on lap 3 is when it shows the damage to me. I'm not sure whether he picked it up on lap 1 and it only sort of later refreshed, but yeah, I'm confused because that's definitely not a healthy front end on that truck. There's sort of separation between the bumper and the hood, and that's not going to help the aerodynamics at all. It's going to be very draggy on the straightaway.
How about Caldwell? Did he have an issue? Because right now, Kruger is all over his back bumper, and Caldwell ran 5/10 slower than Kruger that last time by.
That ebb and flow, I think Kruger's been keeping Caldwell honest throughout this first run. Hasn't really let him get sort of more than a 1 second lead. And this could be where maybe a long run sort of tire crossover starts to come through. Kruger, of course, fastest in practice, took that pole position, but did a very long run in practice, it looks like, to manage that and to sort of scope out that tire wear. Caldwell had a lot of sort of shorter runs to sort of dial in that 1 lap pace, but could now be starting to feel the pressure of that as he's sort of in uncharted territory on a 9 lap old set of Goodyear tires.
And Kruger also, he drives stock cars on road courses a lot. I mean, that's what Road and Plate is. You can see them Thursday nights on JCTV. A little bit of a different series going on right now with their summer series, and I know I keep referencing them, but you know, we don't see a lot of road courses here in BSR. We see a few a season, and it's always a battle between Kruger, Caldwell, Maher. Kerfan's always up there as well. I think Watkins Glen was won by Juergensmeyer. A lot of talented road course guys in here. But I specifically mentioned this time around Road and Plate because Kruger is a regular there. He is so used to driving stock cars on road courses, and like I mentioned, they came here. Now, they don't drive the trucks, but it's pretty similar. I mean, still stock cars that are made for oval riding on road course racing right now. But Kruger is there. He's right there with Cameron Caldwell.
Yeah, doing a great job on that one. And this is the sort of interesting thing about a new track, which is, first of all, it does level the playing field in that no one has any laps when it first releases. But then after that, it means that if you can get settled and if you can put the time in to really nail the sort of new environment, you are going to find a lot of success. And I think these two especially, well, of course, Kerfen and Maher behind, really seem to have that edge on the rest of the drivers who maybe are coming at this track for sort of the first time tonight, maybe coming in just using the attached practice. Whereas I know there's been a lot of sessions during the week that a lot of drivers have been sort of grinding their hours into. As we follow on board with this, William Kemp was our first retirement of the race on lap number 6. And it looks like Chicano, after picking up that damage and falling through the order, is also going to call it on lap number 8. And so already 2 drivers out after some early incidents. And we actually have Stephen Thornton as well, just up the road, could be our first lap truck. Doesn't look like there's much damage being carried there, just maybe not quite finding the same confidence that, of course, the drivers behind are, and he's going to stay well out of the way and make sure that he doesn't affect that battle for the race lead.
You know what? I really like racing with Stephen Thornton. He is a respectable guy, and he just likes to be here. He has so much fun turning laps, and he wants to get better. He's a guy that I absolutely have so much respect for, and even sharing a track with him. So, you know, he knows he's not the fastest. Even if he's just out here turning laps in last, he's having a blast, and good for him to be out here and see how many more positions he can pick up.
Yeah, I mean, you have to have, someone has to run last in a race, ultimately. You can't have everyone sort of be in that pat for the lead, so yeah, a lot of respect for Thornton, and of course, on his day, he has picked up some good results. Picked up a top 10 as recently as April with a good run at Bristol, staying out of trouble to the rest of the field, and ended up finishing 8th place in that one. So it's all just about getting those laps in, and then sort of over the course, season after season, you really start picking up those results time after time.
You know, and we actually had a BSR ARCA series. It was a very short-lived series. He was showing up regularly to those as well, even won a race. It was Talladega, and he literally fought off 3 teammates. One of them being myself. Three teammates that were working together, and him being the lone wolf. And he won. He literally held us all off, and he won the race. And then he had some really good runs at other tracks as well. I think it helped boost his confidence. Even though it wasn't the truck series, the staple of BSR, I really do think it boosted a lot of confidence for him. But we still see this incredible battle between Kruger and Caldwell. Kruger...
Yeah, and it's going to be 5 to go in the stage this time by as well. So
Yeah.
Kruger can play the patient game, try and maybe play a little bit of strategy if that's the route he's going for. But you really do want to try and get forward, especially if you're Kruger, because you've got those 2 wins on the season. You're as good as locked for the playoffs you can get at this point in the regular season. And that stage win would give him another playoff point, which is really what matters. And Caldwell, with the bad run there through turn number 12, it's going to open up the door for Kruger, but Caldwell's able to get on the power first out of the corner and holding off for now, but you can see Kruger starting to unpick the defense of Cameron Caldwell here. See whether he can hold on for these 5 laps left in stage number 1.
The one thing is that, you mentioned he's pretty much a lock for the playoffs. And it's not a win and you're in situation. The one thing for Kruger is he's got a bunch of races coming up that he's going to miss. So he needs to continue to put himself in a position where he's going to win races so that he's got that points buffer when we do get to the playoffs. Because it's not just going to be one race. It's going to be a couple or a few that Kruger is going to be missing coming up. So he really, I mean, you mentioned it. Every point matters. Every playoff point matters. He really could benefit from this, especially knowing that there's going to be races that he's going to miss.
Yeah, because obviously playoff points are awarded in 3 different ways here. You get a point for a stage win that goes into the playoffs. I believe you get 5 for a race win. A Kruger goes to the outside but can't quite get the run there. But then you get points for your regular season finishing position. And if Kruger's going to lose out on some points because of those absences, he has to make that up by winning stages, winning races. And this is the time to do that. We have a couple more pit stops coming through. Zachary Wareham got loose through that sort of back straightaway section, found the wall with the right front tyre, and is now down on pit lane getting that damage fixed up. And then Zach Probst as well just had a bead incident down at the same section that's forced him to tow back to pit lane, and he could be out of this one.
Let's see what happened to Probst. Oh, just caught the curb a little too wrong, and yeah, you see it hard hit into the tire barrier.
And that's not even something you're thinking about all that much in a situation like this. You're just sort of on autopilot, thinking that, yeah, the truck will take that, but just hooked it over the far side of the curb, and that's where there's a much sharper sort of ledge the tyre falls over. And just you try to bring it back, it caught wrong and sent him around. And unfortunately, it is going to be our 3rd retirement on the day. We'll see if Wareham can get back out to pick up those points. But a little bit further back, we have an incident for... who's this?
So I've noticed... Okay, so this was the previous lap. Kerfan was ahead of Maher, and I had noticed that Maher was quite a distance ahead of Kerfan, so this is how Maher was able to get 3rd. It was a little mistake going into turn 1 by Kerfan.
And I think at that point the tyres just get a little bit chirped. You take a couple laps to settle them back down, and the gap now up to 3.5 seconds in that battle for third place. Kerfen sort of almost falling back towards Jones, Raw, and the rest of that group in that fight. Fidel Fabian back up to 10th place and then pick up some stage points in this one. And then, was it McCorkle who was up a bunch of positions on the race start? Still hold on to 8th place, but has a lot of pressure from Walls behind, who is looking to put McCorkle back into that P9 position as we are 2 to go in the stage, and Kruger still tailgating Cameron Caldwell here, trying to find any way around that he can.
Oh. Caldwell got a little sideways. They're now side by side. And they're going to be in a big right-hander. Advantage Caldwell.
The crossover, though. Can Kruger get on the power? No. Caldwell with a great run out of the corner, considering the tighter entry. Kruger just not quite having the run here, and try and put some pressure on through this final chicane. But he's going to be coming to the white flag in the stage. If he wants to get it done into turn 1, the big dive bomb opportunity, he's got to get the run here through turn 12 perfect. And Caldwell just kind of parts the bus a little bit, parts the apex, and then powers down and has that sort of 4/10 of a second lead building that should give him the defense into turn 1 here.
The other thing I have noticed, the more and more I continue to watch these guys, is something that has happened every single lap, is Caldwell has such a wider exit on that last corner, where Kruger is taking it more shallow, not really getting the power down like Caldwell is. And then entering turn 1, Caldwell turns in much sooner than Kruger does. That's something that I just keep watching, keep noticing, and it's kind of sparked my interest. But Kruger doing a great job staying right here on the back tailgate of Caldwell. And this is now for the stage win.
Yeah, I just don't know where the opportunity is here to try and get this done through. It's very much a one-line corner through this chicane, but I hope for a mistake from Caldwell coming through here. But he's doing a great job using that sort of access road for a little bit of a wider entry. And now Kruger going for the power. This could be a drag race actually down to the line. Kruger might not get the stage win. It's going to be Caldwell.
Oh my goodness!
Kruger could get the race lead right after here. Bid defense into turn number 1. Stage 1 is over. Caldwell takes the stage win there. And then does a great job defending the run down into turn 1 as well. And as we enter stage number 2, Mike Kruger still unable to pick a way apart there.
This is, I think Kruger is faster than Caldwell. I mean, but they're both so similar on pace. However, if Kruger is able to get ahead of Caldwell, I think you could just say goodbye. Caldwell is doing everything he needs to do, and this track, it is so tight. Where are you really going to pass? Where is the best passing opportunity? And that's the thing that Kruger needs to figure out. Try to get a run to do so. And he had it. He had it going into turn 1. Caldwell blocked beautifully to hold him back there and maintain this race lead.
Yeah, and I think turn 1 could be his opportunity, but he's got to maybe keep that pressure on, try and force Caldwell to overshoot the corner and get it done that way. So it is Caldwell taking that stage win ahead of Kruger. It's then Maher, Kerfen, and Jones, the rest of the top 5. And then Justin Rourke, Gabe Cazzola, Cody McCorkle, Michael Walls, and Fidel Fabian does recover to pick up that final stage point. There was a bit of an incident, actually, between Walls and McCorkle on the penultimate lap of the stage. But we're looking at Kruger here, so he's got the nose poked to the inside. Just can't quite get it done through turn number 4.
Another shallow entry there for Kruger. Or, well, difference in entry, rather, that I had just noticed. But Kruger, he's going to take a peek to the inside. It's not going to work. Caldwell actually locks up. I think he was doing a little bit of mirror driving. It is head games going on right now between these two as they actually approach Stephen Thornton once again to put him 2 laps down. Thornton's going to stay out of the way and to the left.
And Kruger faked like 3 corners in a row there, looking to the inside, looking like he was going for the dive, but then hitting the brakes nice and early. Now he gets all the way to the rear bumper, doesn't quite give the shot there. And Caldwell once again gets off the corner smoothly, but Kruger, I think at this point, smells the blood in the water. He's going to try and force a mistake out of Caldwell, whichever way he can. It's not going to be turn 1. I think he knows that Caldwell has that defended really well. Backing up, trying to get the exit to then make Caldwell think about the alternate lines through this sort of very much a rhythm section. And if you can get him out of that rhythm, then he could just slide his way through without any sort of any fight at all.
You know the scary thing to think about? When we were just talking to Caldwell after his qualifying lap, and he mentioned that he's actually coming to this track in real life for IndyCar and NASCAR Xfinity Series racing. I think it's for the Xfinity Series race. Michael Kruger is actually flying out to hang out with Cam at this track as Kruger's trying to make another move. And I think that's going to be a whole lot of fun for these two drivers to hang out at a track that they are having a fantastic battle at here in the sim.
Yeah, and this reminds me of a certain Xfinity race that we've seen this season. This is shades of Sonoma,
yes.
I'd say.
Yes.
Two drivers just almost toying with each other, having that gap to the rest of the field. Kruger, parking the trucks, might have a slowdown from that maybe. Might have gotten away with it. But it's about playing those mind games, not wanting to just wreck a driver, especially not this early in a race, for the position, but doing everything you can without making contact to just try and get into their head, to try and force them to overshoot a corner, to get you side by side and to get you the run out. Now what I will say about the matter is that we're into stage 2 now, we're approaching 1/3 race distance. If you're going for the 2-stop strategy, this is about the time when you would be thinking about a call onto pit lane. We're maybe not quite there yet for an optimal call, but if you need to get around someone, if you're Michael Kruger, do you try and pit that little bit early to get the jump and to have those fresh tyres for that undercut? That's if they're on the 2-stop, of course.
You know, I think they're on the 1. I really think that these guys are on the 1. However, they are pushing pretty hard right now, and it's for the race lead. Because, again, I think Kruger is faster. Kruger knows that. He's staying right here with Caldwell. And so you need the lead here. You need to hold on to the lead. But I really think that they're going to try to make it work for a one-stop strategy.
I think they could go for a 2-stop. And if they both went for the 2-stop, then I think there's a good chance they'd at least play the rest of the top 5, even without the tyre advantage. They have pulled out a huge gap to a driver like, Wars 30 seconds back in 9th place after 23 laps. They could put a lap on a driver like him by the end of the race on equivalent strategies. It's just a matter of what's their battle between each other. So if one driver goes for the 2 and one driver goes for the 1, then that's suddenly 40 seconds you have to pull, or thereabouts, on the other driver. As Von Druska is the first one to come down pit lane, lap 22, just getting out of the way of those race leaders. But we'll see if anyone chooses to react to that, maybe, as the 88 decides that pit cycle, at least for him, is starting out.
Oh, what a good run into the chicane for Kruger. This is, as a broadcaster who is friends with both these drivers, and they are both incredible people, and they are friends. They're buddies. They, it's crazy to watch. And I think, think of it like you're watching two drivers that you really, really like, and they're racing each other hard. You don't want to see them wreck. It is so hard to watch these guys right now drive to this power, to how they're racing, and just want to see them both continue to keep this up and not make a mistake. Caldwell's pitting. Locks up the tires. Did he get slowed down in time? Maher also going to come down pit road.
So that is the call, and Caldwell committing to the two-stop and making the early decision to come in to cover off that undercut, to pull that move himself. The question now becomes, does Kruger respond here next time by? Can he find a good in-lap if he does? Or was he sat behind to maybe use that draft to save a little bit of fuel to try and stretch this one out?
If I know Kruger, I'm going to say he's going to pit this time by. I think that it was Caldwell did not call out his pit. Kruger was not ready for it, and he knows he has to pit this time by. If I know anything that goes on inside that team, which, by the way, I've been a part of it for quite a while. So I think right now Kruger's pushing. He's pushing as hard as he can.
Yeah, I mean, if he doesn't come in this time by, I think he's going to lap 36. I don't think there's a scenario where you two-stop this and you don't respond right here, and there is the response. Kruger is going to cover off that move. The question now is just, did he have a good enough in-lap? Because Caldwell's actually pit into a little bit of traffic here. He's catching up to McCorkle and Walls.
This could hurt badly for Caldwell.
McCorkle's gonna fight his own fight, though. Caldwell gets through. That's crucial for his race. Kerfman also pits behind. Kruger has that first pit stall. Just gonna have a great run out of pit lane. But Caldwell is coming onto the start-finish straights. Now you can see it in back of shot. To the line. Can Kruger get going? He can, but Caldwell is gonna fly through. That undercut worked perfectly. And Caldwell has the race lead.
Oh my goodness.
Has those one lap pressure ties. Both drivers fighting through turn one, and McCorkle really got intimidated out of that one, as he didn't really know where Kruger was going to be on the inside, on the way out of pit lane. Walls is fighting.
Oh, Kruger! No, he's going to spin! He's sliding! Into the grass! Does not go fully around, but those tires are definitely heated now. And lost a ton of time.
Yeah, that's 5 seconds now, the gap between the two of them. Maybe just about a second and a half before that spin. I mean, this is how sort of incredible that run is. We know I've had a couple of drivers near the front pit. Caldwell's only 17 seconds off Rivers Jones, who has yet to come down and could be one of the drivers maybe looking at the alternate strategy here. They have such a gap on the field. Kruger now has to fight back past Cody McCorkle for that 6th position. Have a great run off the corner, of course, has that tyre advantage. The fall-off in that first stint ended up being around about 2 seconds. And so I think tyre's definitely a smart call here. If you know that you can just match the other driver. But now Kruger's got to find some magic. Has to try and close that gap back in before he can make a move. And at that point, surely he'll have burnt off anything that was left in those tyres. And that tyre advantage is going to be long gone. Again, a little bit of a rear angle through turn 4. Hold on to it this time, but I don't think those tyres are particularly happy right now.
No, it was only a lap ago when he heated them up. Well, right now, Kruger, he needs to take a breath. Because I know him. I know exactly what he's thinking right now, what he's saying right now. He needs to take a breath, calm down, let the tires calm down, and then realize he's got clean track ahead of him. Walls is not that far ahead, but he still has clean track ahead of him to where he can just do what he needs to do. Kruger makes me so nervous when I'm spotting for him on road courses We did a teamed event together, the 6 hours of Watkins Glen. It was so nervous to see him push it time and time again. But he did a fantastic job, and I think he excels in a position like this. He just needs to calm down.
Yeah, he does have... Oh my goodness! I was going to say that Tristan had set the fastest lap with a 15.1 last time by. Caldwell responded this time with a 15.0. Kruger just set a 14.3. That is faster than any qualifying time that was set here, and faster than any time set in practice aside from Kruger's final lap of the session. And so he is pushing, he gets the move. Walls, I think, almost intimidated out of the way there by Kruger. And he is showing that he wants to close back and he wants to keep that pressure up. He's got 5.1 seconds, and I guess the concern when you set a lap just that fast is how much of the tyres are you using up to set that hot lap, and how much you're going to have left in about 20 laps time before you make your second stop.
As mentioned, Kruger, he makes me nervous when I'm spotting for him and as a teammate, because I know how he is. This is exactly, how he responds. And it's amazing to me to see that he can still push the living crap out of a car, and it still handles just fine for him.
Didn't quite have the lap time last time by, could be because of that move from Walls, who, again, Tristan Maher is really charging after the stops as well, is cutting through the field, is net P3 as things stand. Still have about, I think, 9 drivers yet to make their first pit stop. Jones, Raw, and Cazzola at the front of the field, still on their starting set of tyres. We'll see if they can stretch it to the halfway point. But I don't think it'll matter, because the pace that Caldwell and Kruger have, and Tristan Maher behind as well, I don't think that they're going to be in the fight for the win regardless.
I don't know. I'm still not quite sure what strategy is going to work. I mean, I can compare Watkins Glen to this all I want, it's apples to oranges, but I didn't think that the one-stop strategy was going to work there. It did. So I don't know. I mean, you're right. Like, the pace that Caldwell has, Kruger has, Maher, over these guys, it is incredible. But is it enough?
I'm confident it'll be enough. I think the question would have been if Kruger or Caldwell had chosen to go for the one stop and combine their pace with that shorter run through pit lane, would they have taken the win, or would the two stop have worked there? I think it doesn't really matter what Caldwell and Kruger do, as long as they're aligned on strategy, one of them is going to take it. And for the drivers at the front of the field, this could still be the way to get their best position out of this one. And Cazzola started down in 12th position. He's currently running third, only 3 seconds behind Jones. If he can make it to the halfway point, then he's going to slingshot himself well into that top 10 with a great chance at it.
Yeah, this is the closest we've seen the top 3 together since the race started. You mentioned Cazzola just like 3 seconds behind Jones, and he's got Cody Goza right behind him. Cody Goza lap down. Goza actually is on fresher tires, pit 3 laps ago, so that's the reason that he is a lap down. So right now Goza's going to be fighting these guys because he's got fresh tires. Basically what that means is it's going to slow them down if they continue to battle.
Yeah, no, I mean...
Well, Goza locked up.
You definitely want to be as efficient as possible in a situation like this. That's the main thing. You know there's still a stop left in the race. you want the track position, of course. You don't want to be held up behind a slower driver. But if you think you're about the same pace as someone else, then there's no benefit in you both slowing each other down, because you might not be racing each other after the final stops. You could be in different battles entirely. And it's all about positioning yourself in the best spot for that final lap. As Gozo again has a moment through turn 5 and slides around, saves it, but loses a ton of time rejoining the racetrack and is really struggling with those tyres now. And those are new tyres. It's not managed to fire them off, it seems like.
Yeah, I can't imagine it's a case of cold tires. Randy Payne coming down pit road, but I can't imagine it's a case of cold tires because it's been 4 laps, so maybe heated tires is Goza's problem right now.
Yeah, and this is the thing, because this is still a car on a slightly older tyre model. It's very heat sensitive, and so that is what you need to be careful of. You need to be super precise to not make those mistakes, because it can fall away from you so quickly. And in that case, Ghost is just really struggling to get them back underneath, as Payne comes out just a few seconds behind. Again, it hasn't made it halfway though, so Payne also going to be on that 2-stop strategy. We're now just down to, it looks like, 7 drivers who are trying for the 1. But Caldwell on the 2-stop already up to 4th place, and is going to be on the tail end of those drivers by the time they pull into pit lane here.
Yeah, Caldwell has done a great job reeling them in. Ever so slightly.
He's done a great job reeling Caldwell in at this point. Gap's now under 3 seconds again.
Yeah. Kruger is an alien, and he drives incredibly crazy lines. And I mean, I can continue to talk more and more about my experiences with spotting Mikey on road courses where I've been ready to just, throw in the towel, and somehow he's done something that amazes me. It happens often, way more than it should. But yeah, I mean, the gap between himself and Caldwell is 2.4 seconds. Oh my goodness! Randy Payne hard into the outside wall, or rather, whatever, inside. I don't know, it's a road course, but he hit the tire barrier hard out of that chicane.
He's down on pit lane now, so that's probably day done for the 75. How has that happened on the exit of the chicane?
Oh, he just... too much power. Good lord. And yeah, he towed it to pit road.
I'm wondering if maybe missed an upshift and so had that sort of rev spike at the top of first gear that just unsettled the trucks enough to send it around. Back at the front, I mean, Kruger continues to cut into Caldwell's lead. Gained a second last time by. But the one thing you did say about taking sort of crazy lines, really pushing, especially through that chicane, as you see there in the replay, there's an incident limit in this race. I've seen in the past stats for BSR that there's been road course races without incident limits, and people were clearly taking some experimental lines. Here we are, and it's 17 for a drive-through, sort of very similar to what you see in officials. You've got 73 laps to work with. If you are pushing to the very edge of the track limits, and you get dinged once every 4 laps, you are running right against the wire to get a drive-through penalty, which could completely end this battle.
So, I can see what their incident limits are at. And
oh, because you're an admin.
Kruger, as I said that, was at 2. However, he just picked up a third one. Caldwell's at 1. So, Kruger, I mean, he's got a lot that he can play with. And Cody goes right in front of Caldwell. I know Caldwell's going to be saying, get out of the way. Because Kruger is there. Kruger is right there with Cameron Caldwell now. Justin Rotten, pit road.
No pit there. It's a lap early. Fidel Fabian also has to then go 38 laps to the end from this point in the race. Jones and Cazorla, I should say, have extended that extra lap, and so are looking to try and take that one-stop strategy. We'll see where it'll cycle them out. It has cycled Raw out into 8th place, just in a bit of a no man's land, actually, between Walls and McCorkle. And Jones stays out another time as Cazorla comes in, so Jones is definitely going to be good on that one stop. But of course, we're looking at the fight just a straightaway behind between two drivers that are charging hard. Everyone has one stop left, but Caldwell and Crew don't have much fresher tyres out of this one. And as they settle this between themselves, are going to enjoy seeing Jones get out the way into pit lane, I think.
Yeah. Kruger still the fastest truck on track right now. It is just incredible what he is able to do with a race car. And they're going around Thornton once again. Thornton staying out of the way.
But here's the problem that we saw for the entire first stint. Kruger in clean air is the fastest driver around here. He's not got clean air anymore. He's now back up against the rear tailgate of Cameron Caldwell, and he couldn't find a way around for the first 24 laps of the race before the pit cycle. What does he have now with, yes, the one lap tyre advantage, but also a slide and a massive amount of pushing to get back here? How can he engineer that move, learning from what happened in the first stint?
Be ready. Be ready, because if you are still behind Caldwell when he comes into pit road, you need to either match him or make sure you push. Now remember, Kruger, his tires, they're hurting. I mean, he had that big slide and kind of half spin as soon as he got the fresh tires. And then pushing the tires the way he has, he's still faster than Caldwell. But, you know, can you, if you wait an extra lap, can you afford, do you have the tires to then push hard for that hard lap coming in?
I mean, I think if you're Trudy, you've got to try and take the initiative. It's a game of chicken, I think, at this point, because yes, the pit cycle is open to get to the end. To split it this early would leave you on dead tyres at the end of the race. You don't want to do it now. But by the time we get to sort of lap 45, maybe, it's maybe not optimal in clean air. You want to try and split the race perfectly in thirds. But if you're stuck in traffic, if you're Kruger, how early do you dare pull the trigger to surprise Caldwell with an undercut to get that move done? You want to wait as long as possible so that you aren't hurting at the end of the race and that you sort of have the biggest tyre delta to Caldwell as he stays out. But if you wait too long, then Caldwell could jump over that. It might not matter because Kruger's right there, but again, another slide. Can he hold it?
Oh my goodness.
Yes, he can. But he's falling away again, back to about a gap of a second. And again, those tyres are going to need to cool down a little bit.
Take a deep breath. Stay calm and collected. Didn't lose a ton of positions there. Would be exactly what... Or, a ton of positions. A ton of time there. Didn't lose any positions either, but... that's exactly what I would tell him if I was spotting for him in that scenario. And he's still right there. You know, the thing that I've been noticing is I keep seeing a little bit of smoke coming out of the tires of Caldwell through heavy braking zones, and I'm wondering if his tires are starting to get a little shot themselves from the 12.
I mean, my guess, judging by how Caldwell's been missing the corners and how Kruder's been having the mistakes that he has, I think Kruder might be running a much further rearward brake bias compared to Caldwell. I think Caldwell, with his driving style as well, his narrow entries, he's probably burning up the front tyres more, whereas Kruder's being very wide on entry, very early on the power. I think that's burning up the rears, and this is the really sort of strange dynamic where, because of that, and especially through turn 12, as we saw in the first stint, Caldwell has the bad run through the mid-corner, sort of lets Kruder get back towards him, but then he can get on the power first and more confidently, and Kruder doesn't have the rear tyres to keep up with him. So I think it's a bit of a difference in sort of setup philosophy, a difference in driving style, that is going to make this a very interesting fight as we get towards the end of the second stint.
And they are right there with Fidel Fabian. Gonna put him one lap down, maybe. And this is crazy. Fidel was just on pit road 5 laps ago. Caldwell 17 laps ago. That's a difference of 12 laps, and Caldwell is right there with Fidel Fabian.
But Fidel's pit lap 35 might be trying to save for, after being lapped, will be a 37 lap stint. So could be on a mega fuel save here to get himself back into the one stop. But it also could just be that the fall off for these leaders, I think they've managed it a little bit better in this run. They're still running sort of occasional 15s and definitely in the low 16s. But the problem is Fabian's got his own race here. He doesn't want to roll over for this, and that tyre delta is helping him keep the defense, although I think realizes that if he doesn't get out of the way, he's going to be moved out of the way with the pressure that Caldwell has behind. That's helped Kruder close back in, helped him cool the tyres down a little bit, again with those rear slides. And now it's about what does he have through this infield section with very close. He's going to show the nose, I think. Is he going to go for the lunge, though?
This is just incredible to see these guys still battling for this thing. 32 laps to go. My telemetry is saying that there's still 40 minutes of racing. Can we handle these guys nose to tail for 40 more minutes?
I mean, I don't even know. I mean, we've got a fight between Walls and McCorkle has been going back and forth, it seems like, but I don't know how you can take your eyes off this. And of course, Walls is on that in that one stop, we think, so should cycle through. While Kruder just keeps... I mean, he's not throwing haymakers, he's almost in that second sector threading the punch, but then not sending it. And the question is, how long can you keep putting your guard up for nothing? And then can Kruder capitalize once Caldwell gets comfortable?
You know, I really think that the biggest difference in both these guys' driving styles is, I mentioned earlier, the last corner and the first corner is the drive line, how big of a difference it is. And I think that really helps. Caldwell goes wide! Kruger! It's to the inside! And he's got a right-hander. This is everything Kruger needs. He needs to try to get clear. Still side by side for the race lead. Kruger edging ahead, but Caldwell has a left-hander to stay right there.
Now it's another right-hander though. Kruger going to try and box out Caldwell. Has to leave the room on the exit, but gets on the power and clears for the race lead.
Oh my goodness! How does Caldwell respond here?
I mean, how can you respond here? You can't jump into the pit lane because Cruder, I think, will be confident on running the overcut at that point to just build that tyre delta. He'll have a run down into turn number 1 potentially. He's going to look for it. He's going to dive it.
Oh!
Is he going to get it stopped? Yes, he is. But Cruder leaves the room and just runs the outside line and holds onto it. Caldwell with what looked like a great late-breaking maneuver, but Cruder with the sort of arc of the corner was able to hold on. And Caldwell now much tighter through turn 4, and I think that was the front tyre wear. Just really came to bite him as he tried to turn in for 4 with a little bit too much speed, and the tyres just said, nuh-uh, I'm not going there.
So we are at 30 laps to go. And I mentioned it earlier that I think once if Kruger is able to get past Caldwell, he's just going to drive away. Now he is past Caldwell. Can Kruger go ahead and drive away? Aaron Von Druska off the grass ahead of him.
He's not driven away yet. We'll say that much. And every lap that turns by does start to open up that pit window more and more. Kruger try and use Von Druska as a pit here. Get that move done. Von Druska doesn't want to be between the two of them and ends up letting both through. This is a lot of lap trucks being very sensible, not wanting to affect the battle. But I think at this point, Kruger's saying, no, stay in the battle. Keep firing, I'm gonna slot my way through regardless. And then Caldwell, who's getting a little bit wide through turn 4, he stays with him, but he's starting to fade a little bit. We're going to be 28 to go at the line. The first run ran 24 laps for Caldwell, 25 for Kruger. Does he dare make the early stop, retake the race lead on the undercut if he can build that gap? Because if he waits too much longer, he's not going to be able to close back in 1 lap. And we know Kruger will respond to whatever Caldwell does the next time by.
Yeah. Kruger really has the advantage now with, he's not sitting behind Caldwell. He doesn't have to guess because it's actually now. So Kruger knows.
If he waited any longer, he wouldn't have a chance at it. But it's still 1.1 seconds out the final corner. Caldwell needs the outlap of a lifetime here. Kruger, of course, is going to be pushing already for that in-lap to cover off that move. I mean, unless he chooses the tyre delta, but I think track position would be so important for Kruger here. I think you covered this off.
And remember, cold tires are cold. That's the big saying here in this league. It's going to be 4 tires for Caldwell. Those tires need to come up to temp. I think that was a lot of the reason that Kruger had his issues when he did, is because his tires were cold.
Again, big for Caldwell, pits into clean air, just about clears that lap trip of Lyndon Bingaman on the way out of pit lane. Kruger here coming through the final sector. Wide run. Does he keep it tight out the final corner now and respond? I think we knew he was going to respond, but that's a very aggressive line out of 12. A very aggressive pit entry. You can see that Kruger wants this. Now does not want to have to make that move again. Caldwell now coming through the backstretch chicane as Kruger rolls towards the box, and Kruger's getting a little bit loose. Holds onto it. I think keeps his foot in it there. But it was handing out through what I think is labelled as turn 9. And he is going to fly through here onto the start-finish stretch. Kruger taking the tyres stationary, rolls now. Does Caldwell get the overcut? Can Kruger defend the inside? No. And Caldwell pulls the trigger and retakes the race lead, but Kruger is right there. he's going to have those cold tires again. But he's made that move once, maybe he's confident he can do it again. But what an outlap from Caldwell to pry that race lead, that net race lead at least, back away from Michael Kruger.
So now it's going to come down to Kruger. He just needs to stay patient here, get the tires up to temp. And
meanwhile,
attack.
Move for the race lead, actually. Alex Kerflin, who is on the 2-stop, is going to be pitting soon. Jones gets through. Cazzola is about to get through. Kerflin is pitting this time by, actually. So that'll cycle Cazzola up into second, Raw up into third. We know Jones is good on fuel. We know Jones can make it on fuel.
Oh,
Kerflin
man.
pits here, and that's a bit awkward between the two trucks on different strategies. Yeah, I mean, Cazzola couldn't not take that gap, but Kerflin then had to cut back in for the pit lane. But this is the thing, Caldwell has Kruger behind. He's got 3 trucks ahead who are only on about 10 lap old tyres, and they're going to try and run this one out. I have confidence in both of these guys to have the pace to cut through. The question is, how efficiently can they get through? And does that fight open up the door for Kruger to get the nose ahead of Caldwell and lead the charge through to the race win?
You know, again, I think it's going to come down to a mistake or something for Kruger to get by Caldwell. Whether it's a battle here with Rod or whether it's something else later. I think that's what it's going to come down to. Kruger just not close enough as Caldwell is struggling to make something happen around Rott. Taking a peek to the outside, Rott covers. Now what's going to be the outside is in the inside here, and a great job for Rott to hold position. So they're coming through to the final corner, onto the front straightaway. See if Caldwell is able to get a huge run going into turn 1.
Yeah, and remember, Raw is marginal on fuel, but he's going to want to try and fight this. He thinks he's got a shot at this net position. I mean, Caldwell's not going to let him hold that for too long, but he's got to leave a little bit of room.
Oh my goodness!
He turns across, a little bit of contact, and that could be the opportunity. Kruger to the outside here for turn number 4.
Caldwell has the advantage being on the inside, and it is going to play the advantage that we see there. Caldwell gets clear, but I mean, the struggle that Caldwell had getting around Rott, it was easy for Kruger, and that brought Kruger right there. And this is, again, kind of what I was talking about. It's going to take a mistake or a battle or something for Kruger to get around Caldwell.
He's got that 1-lap tire advantage that he had in the previous stint. The difference is that he's there right now. He doesn't have to burn anything to close in. He can just try and burn up Caldwell. And Caldwell already having that slide did a great job holding onto it out of turn 1. And a great job from Raw after that contact. I mean, it was a racing deal. It was for position. Raw did a great job backing off, not getting further into the 12 and turning him around. But it's not going to help the tyres. It's still a slide. And Kruger, his chances increase more and more the more mistakes that Caldwell makes. And he is right there with, what is this, still 24 laps to go. There's still 2 trucks up the road that they need to pass to get this race win. 2 more pits for Kruger to use, but also he's got that tyre advantage, and that's never going to go away from him if he just sits behind patiently and picks an opportunity.
Yeah, there are actually no trucks between the leader and Cazzola. No trucks between Cazzola and Caldwell. Of course, we see Caldwell and Kruger right here. So, lap traffic not really a factor at the moment. Jones is actually approaching on Vondruska. But I don't expect Aaron Vondruska to be a hard truck to get around. He's already 1 lap down and make that 2 now.
It's just a mistake from Vondruska there. In the end, lets those 2 leaders go. They're in their own fight, bear in mind. But Kruger now within 3/10, is he going to go for the lunge? I mean, Caldwell pinches so tight on entry to turn one that is difficult to fire one up the inside. I think we saw that especially when he defends it. Whereas Kruder's really taking those wide arcs. This could be awkward with Vondruska here. There's not really a good spot to let by a truck through this opening sector. Caldwell going to try and force the issue. Now he can get out of the way, but again, Kruder is right on the tailgate now. Try and line up a move down into, I think this is turn 7, but doesn't actually get the run off 6 and has to focus on the exit instead.
I'll tell you, that's my least favorite thing when I am racing on a road course is being in the position that Vondruska was in. Is I want to get out of your guys' way, it's just hard for me to do so. Give me a minute and I'll be able to get out of the way. But when you don't have a minute, when you're Caldwell, when you're Kruger, and you're trying to chase down Jones and Cazzola, you're just thinking, get out of the way! And it is so hard. I hate being in that position. Vondruska did a great job at trying to stay out of the way as much as possible, and Cody McCorkle gonna get off pit road in the most awkward position. These guys able to get on through.
Yeah, very heads up there from McCorkle. Paying attention to the relative as you kind of always need to do here, but they're seeing what the battle is and going, I can wait on this one. I'm not in a huge fight right now, and cycles out into 11th, 1 lap down behind these 2 race leaders. We've got a couple of drivers who we think still have to make a pit stop. Poland, we expect to make another stop on the lead lap. Raw is going to be very close for him. So we could end up seeing, sort of, maybe by the end of this race, just 8 trucks on the lead lap.
This is what road coursing will do. Road course racing will do. A little bit of smoke again from Caldwell. It's what I'm talking about. I haven't really noticed it since he's gotten fresh tires, but Kruger peaking, not close enough or anything. Maybe just saying, you know, hey, I'm here if you're looking in your mirror. But again, look at this difference. Caldwell with the shallower entry, which allows Kruger to just pull right up through the chicane.
Yeah, and they're closing on Cazzola about a second a lap here. So right now, Kruger's basically saying, when you get to him, you better make it quick. Otherwise, I am gonna be on you immediately. And I think that's what the pressure is here. He's trying to set up for a move through those one-stop trucks.
Lock up.
Forcing so much pressure. And Caldwell, with a narrow entry, sort of focuses on the launch off the corner and just sort of parking the apex, whereas Kruger arcs it a little bit wider, maybe burns up the rears a little bit.
Oh,
and
Kruger slides.
Kick out a little bit.
Too much power down in that 42. Another lockup, just tiny lockups, that'll do it. It doesn't seem like much, but it'll do it. As they are right there with Cazzola. So now, I mean, the battle is going to be on for second place between these 3 drivers.
Yeah, and it almost ended in disaster already in the battle for 3rd place. Justin Raw just not being cleared by Caldwell down at the apex of, I think, turn 2 technically, on that second arc of the chicane. And it could be a similar deal. Caldwell seems to like the move into turn number 1, but he's got to make sure that he clears through the right-hander so that he can cut to the apex for the left. Otherwise, he could have been in the same position he was just a few laps ago with Raw.
Well, I think Caldwell is there enough to where he doesn't want to have to wait to turn 1, but even then, I mean, Cazzola, he's not just going to pull over. Neither is Jones when you get up to Jones. So what do you do here?
Oh. Cazzola's made a mistake, actually.
He does.
Let Caldwell through. Kruder doesn't ascend this one. There's no way Kruder sits behind here. Cazzola might try and fight this with Caldwell. just to try and maybe defend from Kruger. Because then this is a fight for position. See Cazzola, Arkit, Fabian just up the road struggling. He's going to go a lap down, it looks like, cutting through. But that's crucial. Caldwell got around Cazzola with that mistake through the final sector, and Kruger couldn't get it done in turn number 1, so now Caldwell has that buffer. And where does Kruger get this move done now? Again, these top 4 are all good to the end. They are racing for position as good as anyone else. But the tyre delta's a big deal, and Kruger has so much pace. He dives it into turn 7. They're going to be side by side off the corner, and Zola's not particularly happy about it.
No, he is not. Kruger.
He's going to have the inside. If he can stay here, he's going to have the inside for this chicane. Does Kruger send it around the outside? He can't. He gets doored out of it. Cazzola parts that first apex. And the gap is now building. It's 1.5 down to Caldwell now.
And I'm gonna guess the tempers are gonna be flaring here. Kruger knows he needs to make the move ASAP. 18 laps to go here in this race.
Bear in mind, Caldwell's not out of the woods yet. Still has Rivers Jones to fight for the race lead, and Jones went the longest in the first stint, and so is not only going to have the better tyres, but might be full push on fuel to the end, and can put up a hell of a fight for the race leaders. Any driver would, I think, in this position.
Yeah. It's
Kruger
not going to be
goes for it
easy.
again, tries the same move twice, locks up the front tyres, more contact with Cazzola. Cazzola almost gets forced off the racetrack there. But fortunately for Kruger, he is far enough away that Cazzola can't respond. Because I think if the 95 was still there, he would send it right back here. Because that was not particularly clean from Kruger. It was, you know, it wasn't the worst thing in the world, but also, you're not happy for the 95 right now.
No, not at all. I've been on the other end of that. As far as Cazzola not being happy with somebody. In this case, it
the
was me.
lockup from Caldwell there. Second and a half to Kruger. So it's the widest it's been in a long time here. We're within the final 20 laps here. Caldwell has one more truck to clear to take that race lead from Rivers Jones. The tyre delta between the two is just 8 laps, actually, because of how early Caldwell hit. This is not going to be a freebie.
No. And the battle between Caldwell and Jones might be kind of like the battle we just saw between Kruger and Cazzola. Jones is not going to pull over. And this will easily bring Kruger into the picture.
And bear in mind, Caldwell only got around Cazzola because of a mistake down through this section. Gabe went out into the grass, couldn't defend the position from Caldwell. But to see how much that podium meant to the 95, how much does the race lead mean to the 18 here?
You're going for a race win, and you are trying to hold off the hometown boy to do it. He said he lives 15 minutes away. You can't really get much more hometown than that.
I'm very nervous right now, because Kruger's closing back in, went 0.6 faster than Caldwell last time by. Caldwell only gained about 1/10 on Jones, so he's got to stay focused, got to make sure to sort of get up to the back without burning up the tyres too much. And meanwhile, Kruger is going to continue to close in, but if he gets to Caldwell before Caldwell reaches Jones, he can't afford to be patient anymore, because he's got to be thinking about the battle against the 18 as well.
Yeah, it's going to be tough for all three of these drivers. Caldwell and Kruger to get around the 18 of Jones, and Jones to hold position. He's doing a great job. I mean, they're gaining on him. It's Caldwell and Kruger. But it's a slow gain. Well, I say that. Caldwell just kind of pulls right up to Jones almost.
I mean, Caldwell's first chicane is so aggressive. It's really in this back half where Kruger seems to find the performance. For Caldwell, it is down at turn number 1. And he's gotten close. He's within slipstream at this point, which is going to help him down in this run towards turn number 10. But Kruger's there as well. And Randy Payne, the smartest guy in the room right now, goes, you know what? I ain't getting between any of these three.
Yeah. Very big heads-up move for Payne. 6 laps down now.
Was actually on pit road for 6 minutes, fixing up that damage from the incident down at turn number 3. So great to see him back out, picking up the spots that he can. This is getting very tense. 14 laps now left to go for Caldwell to get this move done. But really, he can't wait that long because Kruger is right there. He's right there.
I think... I don't know. I really don't know what to think of this. This is just insanity.
Do you think Caldwell's getting some deja vu here with it being the 1-stop versus the 2-stop in front right now? It can't feel good.
No. The good news for Caldwell is he knows he has the fresher tires. It still is going to be hard to pass. And Jones, I mean, you see, he's pulling away in certain sections of this track than Caldwell is. And so it tells me that Jones has been doing a really good job at holding on to those tires. You mentioned it way earlier, I do believe, that, you know, saving fuel is going to help not put as much strain on the tires, so it's going to save them. And so that's the only thing that I think has really been helping Jones. They come off the final corner and practically nose to tail to nose to tail.
And it's the fact that Jones did the work early as Caldwell goes for a look but can't get the overlap. Jones did more work in the first stint than he needed to so that he could have a cleaner run to the end after the pit stop. It's a clean 35 laps, I think, for Rivers Jones, is it?
Yeah.
Which means that... Oh, no, it's a 36 stint. But rather than taking that at the start of the race and a 37 to the end, he's got that additional resource to use, which means he has the slightly better tyres, of course, but also he can use more fuel on the straightaways. He can sort of push into the corners more. And he's doing a great job keeping Caldwell at arm's reach right now. And it's that sort of situation where Caldwell can't really get the runs through the corners that he needs, and so then in that middle set to where it seems like Jones and Kruger are stronger, Caldwell starts to fade and starts to go onto the defense a bit more. Now through this final set, you see Caldwell loves that chicane. The only one he loves more than that is this one coming up. Oof! And Jones has an awkward run through the corner, has a bit of an oversteer moment on the exit. And now Caldwell's lining this one up. He's going to go for that lunge. He's going to brake late. Jones with a little bit of wheel hop is going to try and cover this off. He's going to miss the corner. He'll have to give up that position to Cameron Caldwell with that slowdown. The question now is just, can Kruger also get through?
Oh, I don't know if the... Oh, Caldwell's going to go in the grass! Kruger gets by!
And if I'm Caldwell, I'm not happy about that from Jones. He cuts the course to stay ahead and then chops the nose through turn 4. I mean, now Kruger's sat behind going, well, how the hell do I pass this guy?
And, you know, again, stay patient. Stay as patient as you possibly can if you're Kruger. Let him make a mistake. But also be aggressive. You know, you still got Caldwell going to be coming up here pretty quickly, so patiently aggressive. It's an oxymoron, but I think that's seriously how you got to be right now if you are Michael Kruger.
There's no way to prepare for a moment like this. You know Caldwell now is going to have that fire in him. Jones actually with a great run through the chicane that time, with access to that inside line. And Caldwell, been a little bit left behind, but still has that pickup on the tyres from running wide into the grass.
You know what that entry into turn 1 reminded me of from Jones and Kruger? Caldwell and Kruger. And the advantage was that Kruger, by taking that later apex, was able to get the run off of the chicane. So honestly, I think that Kruger, he's seeing exactly what he has seen the entire race up into this point, just with a different driver doing it.
And with a 9-lap tyre delta, that's going to be giving him some hope, but it's 10 to go this time by. The time is not going to last forever. He's got to get this move done quickly. He knows turn 1, Jones is going to fight for everything through there. So he already looks a lane to the inside to defend that move. Can Kruger get the run on the exit? He's not going to go for the lunge on the way in. But hopping over those curbs, 1, 2, right behind Jones, but with no lane to go through.
So 10 to go here in this race. That's still quite a while. I mean, 10 to go here is different than, say, 10 to go at Bristol, where, you know, if it's Bristol, you know, you're doomed if you don't have to make a move, if you can't make a move now. But here, that's still a long time.
There's not many opportunities, though. You've got a lot of time to work with, but that second sector, you've got turn 1, you've got turn 7. I don't know if you really have other great moments unless the driver ahead makes that mistake. And Kruger's really sliding the rear end out. Again, we mentioned it seems like he's burning up the rear tyres a bit more compared to Caldwell burning up the fronts. Jones also a little bit loose off the corner, a little bit sketchy on throttle, but it's just not enough for Kruger to be close enough to really force that mistake out of Jones. If you've got 2 chances per lap, you've really only got, 17 more attempts at this? And with the gap that Jones has pulled through turn 1, he might not get the one in turn 7 this time by. There's really not as much time as it seems like here.
I mean, you're right. I think it really is just going to be that Kruger needs to stay patient, put the pressure on, make Jones make a mistake. Just be close. Sometimes that's all that matters. Now, Jones, he's a great driver. I mean, he's performed under pressure before, but still, I think you've got to be right there. Stay tucked up under his tailgate. If you can't make the move, be right there and you know, show pressure. Make him look in the mirror. Something to where he might overdrive a corner or lock up or something.
Kruger stays narrow here on exit. Is going to be maybe a drag race down into turn 1. There's a lapper up front who might end up playing a part in this. That's Aaron von Druska.
Kruger is going to be to the
Kruger
inside.
Goes for a big lunge. Von Druska goes, oh, I need to get out of the way.
Jones
touched the chicane again. He's got that slowdown again. Is he going to be able to bleed it the same way he did? And is Kruger going to let him, or is Kruger going to force him out of the way for that one?
Kruger is...
I mean, I'm definitely not a fan of that move. That's twice now that Jones has done that to defend.
Oh, Kruger is going to go around!
To force the error, but slides, and now Caldwell going to get back around. They're going to be side by side. Caldwell's going to get back through second place. They're now 2.5 seconds behind Jones. And I think now these drivers are both angry at the 18, but at the same time, they want to be the one to give the bumper to him. They want to try and be able to have the time to get back there. We've 7 to go this time by. can Kruger afford to be patient behind Caldwell, or does he need to force a move here so that he can go and get back to Jones?
Oh, man.
And also,
7 to go.
does Jones get away with that twice?
I don't know. I've seen some crazy things in the 8 seasons that we've had here in BSR. I think I've seen only 1 win taken away. Actually, 2. 2 wins taken away in the entire 8 seasons here. One of them was, well, a simple double yellow line infraction at Daytona. Alex Kerfan crossed the line first, but was found to have passed below the yellow line. The other one was Kyle Lamont in season 3, 4, 2 maybe? I don't know. And I don't even remember the track. It was a short track. And Caldwell's going to go through the grass and slide here! Kruger able to get by. Caldwell's still going straight. These guys are just...
It's a huge save from Caldwell to not collect Kruger. Could have very easily wiped them both out of this one. And now Kruger's 2 seconds back from Rivers Jones. Made that 2.5 right now. Has 6 laps to go, so he's basically got to close in half a second a lap to get to Rivers Jones, and then use that final lap to get it done. Meanwhile, Cazzola and Mar have been fighting tooth and nail. We know how much Cazzola's been fighting.
Goodness!
To come together and Mar's gonna go around.
I am just watching my team fall into shambles, as well as Radius Racing with Cameron Caldwell.
I mean, those two they've been in a scrap, and I've been keeping one eye on it as we've been following the race leaders. And it's Tristan on those fresher tyres. Tried to slot through. The advantage just isn't quite as strong this late in a run, and just hasn't been able to complete the move. And tries to get it done there in turn 4, makes the mistake, goes around, loses a spot now. Actually, no, is now having to defend from Justin Raw. There's a lap truck of Fidel Fabian currently sandwiched between them. And Maha might be able to hold on for a top 5 here, but it's going to be hard fought as we'll see if Fabian gets out of the way of this one. Doesn't have to. There's no rule in stock car racing that says you have to, but I'd imagine for the sake of Fabian's truck, it might not be a terrible idea. Kruger, meanwhile, is sending the rear end out there through turn 6, but he's closing. He went 6/10 faster last time by, and it looks like he's matching that number again on current pace this time by. We've got 4 laps to go at the line. The gap is 1.5 seconds. I think Kruger could get there, and at this point, the rules of engagement are set.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I think Kruger's mindset is, you know, again, if I'm a spotter, I'd try to calm him down all I want. Kruger's mind is, I'm going to win this race. And he is still closing in on Rivers Jones. That time by, it was 3/10.
Yeah. I think the crucial thing here, though, is that he's not got the pressure from Caldwell now. The 12 really has burnt up those tyres, had that big moment. He's 4 seconds back. Kruger has all the focus forward at this point, does not have to look in the mirror at all. And can, you know, make as much time loss as he needs to get this move done. which means that there's a lot more options open in terms of how you could make the move. He's still got to get there, and then the last time by he didn't gain that much, but through the final chicane, does a great job really maximizing the track through there. It is now within a second as we come to 3 laps to go.
Yeah, under a second, just as you mentioned, the heat is on. The heat is on big time. And so what can Kruger do? That time it was 0.6 of a difference for Kruger over Jones. They've got Cody Goza just a little bit up the road. Goza already 1 lap down. But Kruger's there. And he's going to have the tow in the straightaway. Goza is wide right. I'm going to get out of these drivers' way.
We've seen Kruger make an aggressive move already in this one. That move on Gabe Tazola was not squeaky clean. That was very much a culmination of the past couple laps. This is the culmination of the entire race now, but Kruger hops that curb, gets a bit of grass on the tyres, can't get it turned in for 12, loses all the time he gained that time by. The gap is going to be 0.6 again with 2 laps to go here in this one.
Closed in a tad bit there, but again, as you mentioned, just made that mistake. Needs to be clean here. He's got only a few more opportunities. What will Jones do? What will Kruger do? Kruger taking
what won't Kruger do for this one? I think he might be losing the tyres, though.
He slid just a little bit.
Jones has been able to absorb the pressure here, has been able to run it a little bit easier. Kruger's been pushing lap after lap to get there. The gap's 0.4 of a second, but he made the mistake through this section last time by. What is it going to be like here as we come towards the white flag? Keeps it a little bit narrower on the entry. Can he get the power off the corner? Sliding again, the gap's still about 0.3 of a second. White flag is in the air, the move won't be into turn 1 unless Kruger has balls of steel here. He's got to be turn 7, surely.
He's going to take the approach that we've seen him take through 1 the entire time. And Jones pulling away ever so slightly. Kruger still right there, though. Just don't think he's close enough.
There's no passing opportunity left. You've got to hope for a mistake, or he's half a second back. Rivers Jones is going to come through the final 2 corners here. Kruger going to put on the pressure. He's going to lunge through 10, 11. Can he get there for turn number 12? He's going to give the bumper. They're both going to slide. Jones gets back on the throttle first. They're squirming off the throttle, but Rivers Jones holds on to take the race win here at Portland.
Photo finish, though. Wow.
And we knew that Kruger was going to give the bumper if he had the moment. He just about had the chance there in 12, but just couldn't quite unsettle Jones enough to open up the door. Kruger's truck really did not like that shot that he gave, and it is the 18 who is going to take that run down to victory lane. Kruger second by less than a 10th here after a long race. An hour and a half of racing comes down to that margin on a road course. When's the last time you've seen that one? Tristan promised us he was going to give us a show. He collects Stephen Thornton for it, in fact. It's Cameron Caldwell rounding out the podium, Cazzola and Rort 4th and 5th, and Tristan Maher in the end, with not the best final run, and ends up on the roof in 6th place in the dress there.
Well, let's go ahead and take a look at our unofficial race results. And it is Rivers Jones with the win, Michael Kruger in 2nd, Cameron Caldwell bringing it home 3rd, Gabe Cazzola 4th, Justin Rott 5th, Tristan Maher 6th, Alex Kerfan 7th, Michael Walls 8th, Cody McCorkle 9th, and Fidel Fabian rounds out the top 10.
It'll be Poland and Bingaman also finishing 1 lap down in 11th and 12th, with Cody Goza and Aaron von Druska finishing in 13th and 14th. Stephen Thornton ends up picking a 15th place finish out of this one after Randy Payne had a second incident. He'll finish 14 laps down, and I believe our first retirement in this one, ahead of Zach Probst, Zachary Wareham, Alonso Chicano, and William Kempf, your additional retirements from tonight's race.
So the RPS Marketing Grand Prix of Portland is finished. We've got some interviews to go ahead and do, and we'll start off by talking to Cameron Caldwell. And hey Cam, it's the booth here. 3rd place run for you. It's a hard fought race.
Yeah. I hurt. Definitely one of the most intense races I've ever been a part of. I don't know. I'm going through the emotions, I guess, right now. I'm bummed, pissed off. I don't know. Rivers drove a hell of a race, especially only one stop in it, having to save fuel and save the tires. I don't know how he went that long in the first place while keeping speed. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about the race.
Do you think that if you could do it all over again, you would try one stop? Or do you think that, I mean, you would stick with the 2-stop every single time?
No, I definitely do the 2-stop. It was just fast. It was faster, or at least for me. I think having raw pace helped, but Rivers wasn't like slow by any means either. But I don't have it in me to like save fuel in races like this. Like I'd rather just go, and when I know it's like you can go either way, then I'm probably going to be on the aggressive side, or the offensive side, I should say. But yeah, I'm like, I have no reason to be, but I'm a little like just peeved, we'll say, with Mikey. Just wanted to, if I could have had no pressure, I could have run him down, or run Rivers down. But like I obviously understand we're racing for a win, so I can't complain about that. It's just I needed a little bit more space, and I felt like he was sticking his nose in a couple places where he shouldn't have. But then if I really think about it, and we swap positions, I probably would have been doing the same thing. So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't, I guess. But I'll be over it. Just wanted this one really bad.
Sponsors, shout outs, who gets it done for you?
Yeah, big shout out to Town Sire House. The partnership that they did with the Portland Timbers, which is on my truck tonight. I've been really excited about riding this one here. Their Pitch Perfect limited edition cider. It's really good. It's a nice dry apple cider. Highly recommend it if you can find it, or if you want to order online. But yeah, big shout out to them for allowing me to use their logos, and they're really cool brands and guides and designs and all that. Also, shout out to my other sponsors: C2 Graphics, Grid Network, RPS Marketing, Left Coast Survivals, Walking Massage Therapy, JCTV. You guys for broadcasting. All my friends and family for watching. I'm not sure who all I ended up watching, but I think got a handful. So appreciate you guys. Try to get it done, but third isn't too bad. Yeah, going dirt racing next week, so that should be fun.
All right. Well, I know it's not what you wanted, buddy, but third place finish, still not a bad night at all. So congrats on the podium, and go enjoy Two Town Cider.
Thanks.
That was Cameron Caldwell, third place finisher here tonight at Portland. And Olivia, I believe you have Michael Kruger.
I sure do, Mikey. I mean, where do we start with that race? I guess we'll talk about that sort of final lap. Do you think you had another shot at that? Do you think you could have done that final move any differently?
I don't know if I could have, honestly. I mean, maybe just hit my marks a little bit better in the last corner, I guess. I mean, I was literally just trying to do everything to try to get back to him after I tried to get to Rivers inside and poke it inside to see if he would give way a little, and I got myself spun and I ran him down again past Cam, and I think what I just need more was honestly is just to not make that mistake getting in him, because if I just kept staying constant on his bumper, then I would have definitely had a chance. And if I just kept being patient, I should have been patient there. And I mean, not really any fault of Rivers. I mean, in the moment, I would definitely blame him, but honestly, like, just going back and just wish I could have done things a little different, obviously. I mean, I lost that Quelcher time, and that basically last few laps when I passed Cam, I pretty much had to... It was all about trying to make up that time. It wasn't actually about trying to pass him until literally that last section. And I was going to try to send it and see if I can move him, and then I totally forgot for a split second he was tight on field when we came to the line, and I just... For a moment, I realized he was running out, and I was just devastated a little bit. They just made it on field barely when I was right there.
Yeah, it was a hard-fought race all the way. I mean, first of all, between you and Cam, the whole sort of first 50 laps of this one, pretty much, back and forth through those pit cycles, and then, of course, with those drivers going for the one-stop, I know you had a little bit of a scrap with Gabe there through the traffic, but then Rivers Jones just so consistent, and having that additional lap early meant that you had that much more to fight with. I mean, you put on a great show. Do you think you would consider the one stop if you came back here again with the same number of laps?
I mean, honestly, I let the secret out of the box, but honestly, going into this race, I kind of didn't think I would have as the pace I did compared to like Cam or Tristan, really. And I was honestly thinking in the back of my mind I should do this if I was like not leading or I wasn't close to the leader. Because I was so right there with Cam and I felt like I could have had my chance with him, I just played a regular strategy, and honestly looking back, I mean, I sure as heck wish I could have, but, you know, I mean, I thought the move I played there, sail on the ship and taking two-stop, I thought that was going to be the regular play, because I thought I was blowing the doors away from the gap between guys like Rott, Gabe, and Rivers, that I would be able to make it up no problem, but just circumstances didn't turn out with the two-stop, unfortunately. I mean, this would feel worse if I didn't have 2 wins on the year, but I mean, rather than none, but I mean, it is what it is. I mean, we gave it our all. I goofed up a couple times, and somehow, some way, we still had a chance at the end of the day to somehow win this thing.
Yeah, it was a great run. It was 4th top 5 through 5 races on the season, as well as a 3rd pole position. I mean, congratulations on the second place finish. If there's anything you want to say to the fans at home after that one, now is the time.
Yeah, well, thank you. I just want to shout out my mom and dad. Just thank them for watching me. Just shout out to everybody at Chicano Motorsports at PBR Manufacturing, Josh Coppernoll, Alonso Chicano, Zach Probst, Cody McCorkle, and Tristan Maher. And well, thank Cam just for having C2 graphics on the car for tonight. And just you guys for commentating this joint tonight. Thank y'all for what you guys do every Saturday. Broadcasting this league here, so shout out to you guys. Y'all do terrific whenever y'all do commentate this, and thank y'all.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Thank you.
Now it's finally time. Josh, I believe you have our race winner, Rivers Jones.
Indeed, I do, Rivers. The race winner tonight. I'm mad at you. You beat my driver, but no. Congrats on the win. One-stop strategy. Olivia and I both really didn't think that was going to work at all. At what point were you going into this race with that in mind? The one-stop strategy.
I mean, yeah, I saw we had around, I want to say 35, 34 laps of fuel in our fuel cell to start, and I knew I needed to get to around like 37 to really be able to make that strategy work. So I mean, after the messy start where I fell back to like 7th after getting spun, I kind of just I kept my pace, and I was just saving pretty good. I knew if I could get to that 37 mark, I would be shaping up pretty good. And I really didn't know what the race drivers were going to do, because typically they do 2 stops at road courses, and while that's a good strategy, I think the 1 stop usually prevails. Watkins Glen last year with Jonathan Jurgensmeyer is a good example of that. So I was kind of shocked and not shocked at the same time whenever they started coming down pit road. I want to say a lap 24, 25 or so. But I figured 1 stop would give me a pretty good strategy and get me in position where I could fight for a win.
Now, I'm glad you mentioned Watkins Glen, because Olivia and I had talked about that a couple times in the broadcast as well. But I think the one thing that really played out differently here is that, you know, it was where you had to fight off Cam and Mikey as well. They were right there trying to make moves. This track, it's really hard to pass that. And so, I mean, when you were saving fuel, do you think that also really helps save the tires to be able to fend off of Cam and Mikey?
Yeah, absolutely. I think both go hand in hand. Whenever you are trying to save fuel, you're intentionally underdriving the car, particularly on entries, as that's where you can lift and coast the best. So I mean, that definitely go hand in hand for sure. I felt like lifting early was definitely helping me kind of set up my exit better, and not having like manhandle the car as much as I would be under normal circumstances. So that definitely helped my rear tires on exit, and helped me just increase tire life. Because that first run, which was from lap 1 to lap 37, I really didn't feel that much tire wear. I mean, I could definitely feel that the truck was slower for sure, but it really didn't affect the handling too bad, because I was able to keep the rear tires under me. It just really helped me that first run. That second run, I don't think I did as good of a job, because with around 10, 15 laps ago, the car started getting really tight, and the slower corners, like the chicane in turn 1 and 2, the last corner, and the left-hander before the right-hander on the back straightaway. So I think absolutely they went hand in hand.
So next week it is the first ever dirt race here in the Blazer Sim Racing Grid Network Truck Series. Are you much of a dirt guy?
No, absolutely not. No, absolutely not. That is not my. That's not my expertise.
So, that makes this next question maybe a little bit more predictable. But what are you looking to try to get out of Eldora?
Man, if I can get a top 10 there, I'll just be happy. So, I mean, dirt racing with big, heavy stock cars it's unlike anything else, really. I mean, there's nothing like it. You can do sprint cars, that's, light, mobile, fast vehicles on dirt. And I guess dirt late models are the most similar thing to trucks, but I don't think I'm going to do amazing there. But honestly, I didn't think I was going to do amazing here tonight. I did like 10 laps of practice earlier today because I had never run a lap with these cars at this track before, like 4 o'clock earlier. So, I mean, anything can happen, I mean, I ended up winning here tonight, so I don't see why I can't win next week, too.
All right, well, sponsor shout-outs. Who gets it done for that winning machine of yours?
First shout out to my mom and dad. Love you guys very much. Moving to Charlotte. I'm going to be going to UNC Charlotte in a couple weeks. So last couple weeks living with them. So that's going to be interesting. I'm really excited about moving to Charlotte. Love them so much. They've done so much for me. Shout out to the GOAT guys who were in the Discord with me. Justin, Gabe, Micah, Randy. Shout out to Stephen Maggio and Jonathan Jurgensmeyer. They weren't in the VC tonight because they're running a separate league. But yeah.
All right. Well, congrats on the win and for breaking my heart of taking it from my guys. But no, I'm kidding. Still, it was still a great race nonetheless, and very much congrats to you on that.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Go celebrate that win.
Heck yeah, man. Thank you.
And that was Rivers Jones, tonight's race winner here at Portland. Fantastic race this was. And it's the one thing I really like about watching league races at road courses is it really is not much about one driver running away like you kind of see in officials. And they can produce fantastic battling. I mean, we saw that all night long practically for the race lead. This racetrack did not disappoint, and I think Cam is a very smart man for adding this onto the schedule. By far one of the best road course races we have had in BSR. And I love when we come to road courses so much. I'm not good at them by any means, but I love the style of racing, this discipline of it, and seeing just how much drivers are able to drive so hard and yet not really make many or any mistakes. So congrats to Rivers Jones and Mikey and Cam for all getting a podium tonight, and just all driving their hearts out for the race win.
Yeah, and I think the main thing was just the fact that the race was the length that it was. And I think Cam probably did that very intentionally to leave that door open, but also so you can have that ebb and flow over the course of a run. And officials don't really let road course races run that long. Whereas here, we gave it a shot, we gave the room the time it needed to breathe again without the stages like we would have in NASCAR, in real life. And we got a fantastic show at the end of it. So, yeah, absolutely. I'd love if every road course race could be perfectly in that window between 1 and 2 as we go through the rest of the season.
Yeah, it was. This was a fantastic night for sure. We've got still a lot of action coming up on JCTV next week that you're not going to want to miss. It is going to be the next broadcast on Thursday night, which will be Road and Plate Summer Series, the F4s at Offhead, I believe Willow Springs. I could very well be wrong on that, but I think that is correct. Nope, Okayama. Okayama, I knew that. So anyway, that's coming up Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Going to be a fun one there as well. And then Friday night is a special stage at I don't know where.
That'd be Bark River.
Sounds
To
good.
the sort of standard short course tracks. It'll be very fun to see how the drivers do after a couple of weeks in some more unusual spots.
And a couple races on Saturday as well next week. So I'm really looking forward to Eldora. That one week from tonight for the Blazer Sim Racing Grid Network Truck Series. Going to be the first dirt race for these guys. And really, I mean, I've commentated a dirt race before, but I'm really excited for this one. No doubt. So that's going to do it from us here in the JCTV booth. Thank you guys for watching. Thanks to the fans, the drivers, and the admin team. Without you guys, this wouldn't be possible. And on behalf of Olivia Hayward and the entire outstanding crew here at JCTV, I'm Joshua Capital signing off, saying so long, stay safe, and we will see you next time. Take care.